search, by the way, and there's some of the people in here that Lisa and Chris Wright that were on a committee to help hire the coach this year, but it's been quite an ordeal. We interviewed 8 candidates, and some of them are sitting at this table also. Very good coaches. I appreciate all of them. The candidate that we feel can lead Prescott in the next, I hope, for a long time at Prescott High School football, young man out of Mesa, Arizona. And I'm going to introduce him real quick, get out of the way and let him take over because he's the coach, Cody Collette.
First off, apologize. Just wanted to tell everybody, I did leave. I had somebody cover my 6th-hour class at Red Mountain. I left at 2:15 and did not anticipate a parking lot on the 17th. So that was a fun experience, but I am happy to be here. First off, just wanted to tell you guys a little bit about myself. Everybody that I've talked to so far, every time I've been up to Prescott, it's been great. And one of the things that intrigued me about it is that it's definitely a community that supports football and has a lot of good people. And that's something that really intrigued me, especially my fiance and myself. And we are really, really, really excited to be here. I am counting the days till spring football and everything else. And I wanted to get all of these passed out earlier, but I have calendars here that has all sorts of football stuff. So it is basically February to July of everything that we got going on right now. And unfortunately, just one thing before I get going, talking about a couple things. You know, one of the things I talked to the administration about, I believe in fulfilling your commitments, and I am under contract with Mesa Public Schools till the end of May. So I will be fulfilling that commitment because I think it's the right thing to do. And just so everybody knows, I will not be up here quite as much in the next 3 months as I would like to, obviously. But there is a couple of days in here that I planned out, and I will be here every single day for spring football. And we'll talk about our spring football schedule and everything that we got going here in just a little bit. Like I said, I wanted to talk about the coaching staff that was already in place here. I've had the privilege of talking to some of the gentlemen that have been working with your fine young men, and they are great people, wonderful people. I enjoyed meeting and speaking with every single one of them. And we're going to try to put together, and we've already put together a couple guys, Coach Morgan and Coach Johnson and some different guys. We're going to try to put together a coaching staff of people that believe in what we're trying to do. Okay? And that's a big sticking point for them. And the biggest thing with one of those guys is loyalty, and they all seem like high character individuals. And that's what we want around your young men is high character individuals. I think a lot of coaches talk about building character and talking about it. I try not to do that lip service. We're going to try to lead by example in terms of what we do in building character and building better football players. And everybody that we put on the staff is going to be somebody like that. First off, I wanted to talk a little bit about kind of my vision for Prescott football. And the biggest thing that I want to talk about is commitment. Division II program, big program, lots difficult schedule, no question about it. We embrace that challenge. We're excited about that challenge. But one of the things that we have to, and it's been going on here for a long time, and we're going to keep it going, is a commitment to excellence and a commitment to being the best. Okay? We don't want to work to be average. That's not my intention. That's not our coach's intention. That's not your young men's intention. Okay? We want to build a program that people can be proud of, the community can be proud of. And to do that, it takes a big commitment. It takes a big commitment from parents, takes a big commitment from players, from coaches, from everybody involved. Everybody that establishes a football program knows that you have to have, it takes a team effort to build a great program. It takes everybody in this room to build a great program, and that's what we're aiming to do. And one of the things about that in terms of our commitment, off-season workouts. Coach Morgan and Coach Johnson have been doing a really good job with that. We need to get more numbers in there. Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday. We understand if you're in another sport right now. If you're not in another sport, you need to be in there lifting, getting done what we need to get done. All right, which is going to help us prepare us for the season and Bradshaw Mountain in our very challenging schedule. And just on the way up here, I lined up our scrimmage. We are not backing down from anybody, and we're going to scrimmage Red Mountain. And I'm jacked up about that. I'll tell you right now. And we're we're going to go after those guys, I promise you. Just to talk about that, kind of my vision for everything I want us to accomplish. I want us to be a team that's going to, and there's already been a great work ethic instilled here from some great coaches, great people down the line. Prescott football's been around 100 years, a great tradition. But we want to establish ourselves as every time somebody steps off the field, okay, with the Badgers, they say, man, that was 48 minutes of a dogfight right there. Okay, that's what we want to establish. We want to establish that in our work ethic, in our production, and everything that we're doing. Okay, we want to outwork everybody. One of the things in our packet that we'll talk about is our strength camp that we're going to be running through the weight room this summer. And this will be up here. And we'll pass those out a little bit here. But our strength camp that we'll be running in the summer, we are going to do 2 blocks. Okay, freshmen and JV, freshmen and sophomores, and any 8th graders or 7th graders or anybody else that wants to sign up. We're going to be doing a 2-hour block, 2 to 4. Varsity's going to be doing a 2-hour block, 4 to 6. All right, and that's a big deal for us. That's a big thing that we need to get going to build this program to the point we want to get it. We need a huge commitment in the weight room. We need everybody there. There's 25 workouts, and all 25 of those workouts are going to be high intensity. Yeah, I coached wrestling for a lot of years, and I used to tell wrestling coaches that you can always, I could walk in a wrestling room, not know anything about their record or anything else, and watch the intensity in the room, and you could tell if it was a good team or not. Just walking in the room and looking at the intensity involved. And that's kind of what we want to establish with our weight room program, which has already been going on, but we just want to continue to build that. All right, we want to continue to build that. We need a huge commitment from our guys in the weight room, working, building better athletes, and building stronger individuals. Okay, so our weight program, like I said, 2-hour blocks, JV and freshmen, then the varsity. I've already lined up a couple different 7-on-7s. All that will be in the calendar that we'll be getting going. But like I said, the biggest thing right now is we need as many guys that are not in their sport. We need you in there right now working out. You have to be in there. And coaches are taking attendance. We need you in there to build yourself a better athlete. The Centennials, the Chaparrals of the world, they're all in there right now. They're all doing that. And we need to do the same thing. We need to do the same thing. Okay, one of the things I also want to talk about that I think is part of our job as coaches is to help prepare your young men to be better husbands, be better fathers, and that's something we plan on doing. Like I said, we're not going to just play lip service to that. Just like we would teach a lesson in the classroom, we're going to go through in the summer, we're going to talk about commitment, we're going to talk about desire, we're going to talk about dedication, and we're going to go through that just like we would teach a lesson. Just like we would teach a lesson, we're going to talk about it. Okay, we're going to talk about it, we're going to lead by example, and we're going to show them what that means to us. Okay, what that means to us in terms of how we want to get it done. All right, but that's one of my visions also. And again, some great kids at Prescott. One of the things that really fired me up about it was the community support. Great parents. Every time I've been up here, had the privilege of being up here, my aunt actually owns a house down the street. It's always been a pleasure. The people are always very kind and nice, and that's something that intrigued me about it also. Our theme. Okay, and I'll talk about this a little bit too. Our theme in terms of what we want to get going right away, right from the very beginning, is all in. Okay? What I mean by that is you're all in. You're all with us. Because like I said, it's going to take a huge team effort to get where we want to be. And that's playing in the playoffs in November. All right? And the theme of that is all in. That means all in from the players, all in from the community, all in from the administration, all in from myself. Everybody is all in. And I think sometimes parents underestimate how important their job is in helping football coaches. They asked Bear Bryant one time, they said, you know, Coach, you've won so many games. How have you won so many games? And he said, well, it's real simple. Our players' mamas and daddies are better than their players' mamas and daddies. And that's something I feel real strongly about. Okay, we need your support. Okay, we need you to help us. Okay, we need you to help us in terms of getting your young men to practice, making that commitment to Badger football, and that's something that is going to help us in the long run. And that's something I also want to talk about is loyalty. I know there's been, you know, some issues with some different coaches. I'm super excited to be here. I'm super excited to get to work. Already working on the process of renting out my house and different things like that, and getting up here. I would sell my house, but I would then be living in a van down by the river. Would come down to coach with everybody. So It's going to be rented out. So, what you should be doing right now to prepare yourself to be playing Prescott Badger football, first and foremost, ahead of everything else, okay, is you should be working your butt off in the classroom. All right? Right now, you should be getting high grades. One of the things that we're going to chart is team GPA. And in my experience, the better teams that I have coached, there has definitely been a correlation. The better the GPA, the more wins we have. And some people don't believe that, but I'm a firm believer in that because it goes back to dedication, putting what you need to get in, doing that work and different stuff like that. And that's something that I feel strongly about. What you need to be doing right now is working your butt off in the classroom. That's job number one. Job number one. I looked at an old report card of mine, and I was not a rocket scientist, which ironically enough, the gentleman I worked for at Red Mountain really was a rocket scientist. He had a PhD, and he was a rocket scientist. We always used to joke around him, he's really a rocket scientist. It's crazy. But anyway, one of the things that I was excited about, I looked at an old report card, and I got okay grades, but the biggest thing that I saw in there was 1 through 6. It said, pleasure having class. I want every single person involved in our program work into their ability level in the classroom, and I want 1 through 6 marked pleasure to having class. I want teachers around this campus to go, oh my gosh, I got a bunch of football players in there. Yes, good stuff, good stuff. I coached a kid this year. His name was Cougar Garcia. And Cougar, the chemistry department, had an ongoing joke. They wanted to get t-shirts made that said WWCD, off of the What Would Jesus Do t-shirts, but what would Cougar do? And that's the kind of kids I want in our program as well. Kids that are high character individuals that are going to do everything that's asked of them and to the best of their ability all the time, every single day. The second thing you need to make sure you're doing in there, like I already touched on a little bit, we need more people in our strength conditioning workouts. We've had a really nice core, but we need as many people in there as possible working. I know there's been some ride issues with freshmen. Okay, I know we have some older guys that drive. We can get something going, but we need to get more freshmen in there. We need to get everybody in there who's not involved in a sport right now lifting. Lifting, 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 lifting. Make us better. When your sport ends, you need to immediately get involved in the strength conditioning program. Immediately when your sport ends, please get right now into strength conditioning so we can get that going right away. Okay, also, after you collect these, there's a little flyer that has all the information on strength conditioning. Make sure that you get that turned in so we have everybody signed up and we're ready to go for that. Okay, going into the calendar, okay, I have scheduled in here, there's 3 field work days. Okay, field work days before spring football, so we can kind of get going a little bit with our terminology and our verbiage and all the stuff that's going to happen in terms of putting our system in place. Okay, there's 3 field work days that I scheduled, and they're on the calendar. But like I said, if you're involved in another sport, I understand you won't be there. If you're not, it's not mandatory, but it's also not mandatory to make the playoffs and win football games. So we need people there, especially I'll be driving down from the valley on those days. And those are Wednesdays. The first one is March the 28th. Okay, and they're not going to be super long. It's not going to be like a practice. It's going to be more mentally getting in what we want to get in before. I don't want the first introductions we have to everything to be that first day of spring football. So those days are March 28th. And again, this is all on your calendar. April 11th and April 25th. Those are all Wednesdays. Those are all Wednesdays. And look in your calendar on that. It will have those days in there. We'll get going and do some voluntary field work type of stuff. Spring football. Okay, spring football has all our days. We're going to have 10 practices over the course of 3 weeks. Okay, 10 practices over the course of 3 weeks. Starting April the 30th is our first practice. We will meet. Okay, and we are going to do JV and the varsity sophomore, our freshmen, sophomores, juniors together in the beginning, just to make sure we have the correct number of coaches and we have everybody there. We're going to do those together for that period. Okay, starting April 30th. April 30th, Monday, Wednesday, Friday will be that first week, and then there's going to be all 3 are going to be Saturday days, just because we wouldn't normally do that, and next year we won't be doing that, just in terms so I don't have to take off 3 straight weeks and give my kids in class the short end of the stick. I will be doing some Saturday practices also. So Monday, Wednesday, Friday the first week, and then Saturday, then the last 2 weeks are Tuesday, Thursday, Saturday. Concluding with, and I was supposed to be here at 5, like I said, but I was planning on talking to Bush Club about this that last Saturday. We're planning on doing a little potluck type of deal where parents come out, and we will, after practice, like to invite you to that one. It'll be kind of a mock type scrimmage type of thing. We'll do some first unit, second unit type deal, and we'll do a little barbecue after that to get to know everybody, talk a little bit, and meet everybody. Also going to do that after get done speaking this evening. But just so everybody knows this schedule. Okay, one thing I want to tell you about too, that you can change on the schedule for June, and I'll tell everybody this. Like I said, I've been adding stuff as we go. We are going to go down to the Valley on June 5th for a 7-on-7. Okay, there's some big-time schools going up there, and we want to compete against those guys. We want to get, there's a 7-on-7 at Red Mountain. We're going to go compete against Red Mountain. We're going to go, I think Chaparral is going to be there. There's some big schools that are going to be there. We're going to go compete against those guys. And we're fired up about that. We're excited about that. We want to compete against the best. Like I said, JV and varsity together for that spring practice. Once I sit down and talk with coaches, we're going to set a goal. We're always trying to work to goals, and we're always trying to set goals that are measurable. Okay, measurable goals, and we're going to set an attendance goal for the group, not including the gentlemen that are involved in other sports. I know our baseball team's really strong. We'll probably be making a playoff run at that point and different things like that. But those that are not involved in that, we want to set attendance goals. We want everybody to be there every single time, okay, in terms of what we're trying to get accomplished. Our strength camp, like I talked about, May 29th through July 12th on that, and July 4th and 5th. We will not be in. There's 25 days. I understand there's going to be vacations and different things. Okay, we are shooting. We want our young men to make at least 20 of those days. Okay, that's the type of commitment that you have to be a great football team. In the past, we've done charts with attendance, and we would mark one color if they were there, one color if they were absent, and you could usually tell at the end of the season, okay, we had a pretty good year that year. So we had great attendance, and we were there, and we were doing what we needed to get done, working in the manner that we need to do it. Like I said, a couple of things I'm excited about. We are going to be doing a football camp. We're planning on doing it through the school. We want to get through a lot of work at that camp. We're going to do it at the school. It's going to be the 16th through the 19th, so please plan accordingly for that. July 16th through the 19th will be our football camp, and we are going to get that going. And football camp to me is an installation process, getting your system in place. There's basically going to be 3 installations of our system: spring, camp, and then right when we start fall practice. We want to get all that stuff in and get it going the right direction. One thing that we're also going to be doing, I'm not sure if any of you are familiar with Jerry Wheeler. He was the strength coach at Mountain View for a lot of years, a part of all 8 state championship teams there. He's volunteered his time at some point in the spring. He's going to come up and do a free strength clinic for our kids, and we're going to get him up here to do that. I'm really excited that he's going to take the time to do that. That's a big deal. I mean, his knowledge base in that realm is unquestioned. It's unbelievable. The guy he's great, and I'm excited to have him come up here and do that. I was really honored that he would do that for us. So, like I said, I'm thrilled to be here. I'm excited to meet everybody. I'm going to open it up for questions that anybody has. I would love to answer any questions that parents or anybody has like to talk about.